So, Joe, what do you got on the velvet
Velvet
scale? Oh.
Oh, hello. How are you all doing?
Show and Sell.
Hello and welcome to Show and Sell, the show that celebrates digging through other people's trash. Hello, Trash Dragons. My name is Chris, Trash Dragon of the West. This is my guitar, Mr. Blankenship.
Hi, Mr. Blankenship.
He says hello back, says you should like, share, and subscribe, and reminded me that I sell on eBay and Discogs, mostly media.
And I'm Katie, and I'm Trash Dragon of the South, and I sell mostly clothing and accessories, but I'm always on the hunt for anything spooky, sparkly, and very unique.
I'm Joe Trash Dragon of the East, and I buy a little bit of everything, and if there's a lot of something, I definitely want that. And I have no examples for you today because I have a storage unit full of clothing that I talked about last time, and I'm still sorting through that. So a lot of double X and triple XL clothes. So larger gentlemen, get in touch with me if you want some nice LL Bean stuff in your size.
It's double XL and triple XL, or
There's
XL and double A?
Mostly double XL, some triple XL. A little bit of XL, and a lot of hoodies. I feel
like double XL is a common size, though, right?
It is pretty. It's pretty
more so than it used to be.
Well, it's not as common at like I don't think people look for it very much secondhand. But on occasion. So we'll see. I've been
a lot of times I'll find like a valuable shirt and I'll be like, oh, it's triple XL. Like, this is going to be a hard one to move.
No, absolutely not. I found like some double XL fish shirts that I've sold like almost immediately. This was a few years ago.
The band fish?
No, the stick fish.
Wow.
Wow. I just honest question.
No, it could just be a fish with a bunch of salmon.
It could have just been about fishing. It could have been a fisherman shirt, like I love fishing.
It's true. It's true.
But I also did assume that it was the band if it sold right away. I was like, it's got to be.
Yeah,
it sold for triple XL too.
Yeah, I revoked my snark. Okay. But cheerfully withdrawn, Your Honor.
Wow.
It's still funny.
Very funny. Yeah.
But yeah, they can like band shirts. If you have like a double XL, triple XL band shirt, people look for them on eBay. I mean, especially something like a fish shirt. I mean, I don't know especially, but I will say that my experience with them was that they sold very quickly.
Excellent.
So,
any other updates that you guys would like to throw out there? Joe?
I do have an update. The Banana Republic bag I showed the other day, a couple episodes ago, that sold yesterday. So, flaws and all, I hope I took a lot of pictures of the flaws, and I hope they looked through all the pictures, and it said that one part needed to be patched, but I was not like I didn't gloss over. I just like figured this pictures would speak. I probably should have mentioned like, oh, this is threadbare here, but whatever. It's a good bag. Somebody will bring it back to life and it'll look great. And I hope they will be happy with their purchase.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the item that brought us joy.
The thing that brought you joy.
Yay! Joy!
So everybody, joy. Why don't we go Joe? Joe for joy. Joy.
Joy starts with Joe. So let's. So I got this. I've been doing some work with somebody. My friend has. I have a friend. He owns the consignment shop that I have a space at. And he also owns a warehouse that he has. He keeps on. They do a lot of like clean outs and buyouts in the city, and the warehouse. I mean, it's a giant warehouse, and there's a lot of spaces that he rents out a lot of spaces in it. But he has filled up almost every space in it. Every available space has now been filled, and he really can't afford to bring anything else in at this point. So I'm trying to help him with an auction ninja auction. Maybe I'll put a link. Maybe I'll put a link in the description.
Maybe you should.
When it finally launches. And so anyway, that said, I found something. I'm also second tangent. I like butter dishes. I'm not like a crazy butter dish guy. I'm not like, this one's shaped like a cow. This one's shaped like a different cow. This one's shaped like a sheep. This one's shaped like a goat. That's what you put your goat butter in. But
don't stop watching Butter Dish, people. Just because Joe's racist against you.
Yeah,
I'm not. I respect your love. I just don't share it myself, and I just mock you. I respect you, but I mock you lovingly. But I do love butter dishes. I think if you find a good one, and I found one, and he's like, you could just have that. He's like, that's just garbage. I was like, I like it. And he's like, you can have it. So it is a pretty decent, you don't have to love it, but it's just like a nice, like, it's a German butter dish with a lucite top, stainless steel, just like a really good form. And that's the thing. It's like, I love keeping my butter at room temperature, and a butter dish is instrumental.
Agreed.
For that. So,
good God, agreed. And sorry, I don't mean to alienate people that think butter needs to go in a fridge, but stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've now alienated butter dish collectors and people who store their butter in a refrigerator. So
if you have a lot of butter, put it in the fridge, but one stick should be out and at room temperature for toast and toasting accessories.
Right, you got to spread that stuff. You don't
Stop
just
it.
like
we're not cold butter.
Try to spread that on a piece of bread. You're just going to ruin your bread. Ugh.
Are you trying to become the thrifting Haktua girl? You gotta spread that shit.
Oh boy.
You gotta spread that thing.
And I'm refusing.
Yeah, you gotta that was a trajectory, but
which ended in criminal charges. SEC charges probably because of her meme coin.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of rules about having about crypto. Well, there's not a whole. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, there was a meme coin, and she.
It was like a pump and dump scheme, if I remember correctly.
I think, but who knows if she was in on it or if it was just like Jake Paul and all those other crypto ghouls.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only name you. Sorry, I'm.
Jake Paul.
I'm going to be quiet. Yeah. All right.
So that's an excellent butter dish.
That's a good butter dish.
Thank you.
Yeah. And a great rant.
Thank you.
Yeah, like that too.
Katie, why don't you go?
Okay, you guys ready for this?
I am.
It better not be a butter dish because
it's not a butter dish. I'm on team butter on the counter. So here we go. But in a dish. So not air on the butter, covering on the butter. Okay. Regardless, here's what we got. Sometimes in my searches, I will go look. We all know I have a belt problem. So on sad days, sometimes I go looking at belts, and I have a few searches that I type into belts in various online resale stores. And sometimes I just type cat because I want to see what sort of cat belt buckles are out there, right? Okay.
I'm stealing myself emotionally for this.
I wanted this so bad, but it was a little out of what I like to spend. But I really wanted it, and finally she made me an offer, and so I accepted, and we're here. And
this is where my life has come to.
The cat is here, and unfortunately, it is absolutely not a cat.
That is a raccoon.
Yeah,
that is fully a raccoon,
which is might even be a little better.
Which is so much better.
Right?
I was like, has she not seen a cat?
Yeah.
Has this person selling this never seen a cat? That is a raccoon.
And it's a snakeskin belt.
Please look at the human hands of the raccoon. And it's fully brass. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, the belt is tiny. The belt is like, I for a small person. And so this, I'm going to have to change it, but it's really easily exchangeable. And so it says solid brass 1978 on the back, which I love. And then there is a triple B stamp in a triangle. We'll have to figure it out. I'm going to have to do some research on it, but a 1978 raccoon brass buckle is pretty awesome.
That is.
So She also didn't have it listed as brass. It was like metal cat buckle.
Snakeskin.
Cat. That is a full joy item. And when it came and I opened it, I was so not disappointed. I was like, yeah, this is the one.
This is right.
This
Can
is
you can remove the belt buckle and put it
Yes,
on
you
another
can.
belt?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm switching out. I'm going to switch out the belt on it. I'll show you when I pick which belt it's going to go on, but I have a few options right now. It's just so I don't have that many actual buckles that I like, so I'm very excited about the raccoon.
That isn't somewhat.
That's my joy item. What do you got, Chris?
So this is both thrifting and a crafting experience, kind of inspired by the both of you. So I was like, I did this and I did this, and so I couldn't sleep, and I bought these frames. A friend of mine asked me to keep an eye out for a certain type of picture. I was like, hey, do you want these? And she was just like, yes. And then she wouldn't come and pick them up for months. And I'm like, do you still want these? She was like, nah. And I'm like, all right. So now I have these like nice frames, but I didn't know what to do with them. They were like about $8 each. But I was just like, couldn't sleep. I had this idea. I made it come true with a couple of things. And I was just like, ooh, I'll show it off here. So
what'd you do?
It says, God made me funky on it. This is like, you can see it's like reflective, like it's sparkle.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And this is Crayola put out like these magnet sheets that I bought a bunch of. Like that they were like full magnet sheets that you can cut into shapes and whatever shape you want. And I just put it as the backing for this. I've got another couple of them, and then this is the frame and the thing, and it's hanging up in my hall. And I've got another frame, and I need to figure out another phrase to that. But God Made Me Funky came from was inspired by milk and cheese. Milk and cheese were these alcoholic dairy products that would go rampaging, and like ska, because it was Evan Dorkin who drew them, who like ska. But let's move on to our next segment, Unearthed Treasure.
Unearthed Treasure.
All right, we are back, Unearthed Treasure, and the theme is velvet, and Katie has expressed interest in going first.
I do. Mostly
demanded it.
Well, I did demand it, but
Yes.
here's the thing. Mostly to chagrin the fact that I don't have a velvet painting for this portion, which is incorrect at my big age to not have one yet, but that's fine. One's coming to me, and it will have Bigfoot in it. That's all about that. Here we go.
Is Bigfoot like? What do you imagine Bigfoot? Is it Bigfoot?
I've seen those clever people that like take the velvet landscape paintings and then paint Bigfoot in the corner.
Oh, Joe has like that. He has a painting of. It's not a velvet, but it's a painting of two of his friends mooning nature.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Where like something's in the picture that's not. I love those. I find those incredibly clever. I know they're not everybody's style, but
that's why you should look into Dave Sherrill, aka Dave Ruins Art. Hopefully a guest soon. But that's his forte. He does that. He puts Bigfoots and AT-AT walkers from Star Wars and like news and all kinds of stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. Those are my favorite. Also, there was another artist in LA that used to take those old portraits of like children or families and very delicately with black and white like charcoal make them into zombies or vampires, just very delicately. And it always cracked me up. My mom was horrified, but I said I was going to put them on my wedding registry, and I was told that I could not. And I said, why? Yes, I can. No.
Yes, I can. Okay.
Not your wedding.
Yeah,
Mom.
That was a bridge too far. We had to put pots on it or something, which I'm very grateful for. I really do like pots, but so anyway,
fan of pots.
Velvet. The other thing that I thought of immediately is this thing that I own, and I have two of. I sent you both the picture. It's like a long velvet overshirt, and we know that I like clever items. And the thing that makes these is that on the sleeve, they say underground.
Oh, hell yeah,
So
they do.
they made these, and I have one in peach, and then I have one in black.
Wow.
Oh, right
And
on.
so they are just my favorite. Really, I get very excited about the clever stuff. And this is a black on black for the underground.
That's a pretty impressive, just like, that's a very dramatic look too. Like the long, like,
It's
ankle.
long, they're very long. They're just heavy, like a nice, but they're heavy because of the length, but they're very light, thin. So they're like a shirt or like a shirt dress, I guess you could say, but they're not anything like a velvet coat, but they're, the cleverness is what makes it on those. And it's what, if I look at an item and say, I wish I'd thought of that, then yeah, but just the cleverness of the underground being on the velvet, clearly velvet
On
item,
the arm.
made me really, down the arm.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. So those are a couple of my favorite velvet things, which as of right now are absolutely not for sale because I think the company is defunct. And so I don't think I'd be able to find them. Defunct. Like you. Just like you. Who wants it? Who wants to go next?
How about Karowski?
Yeah, me. So I partially, like, I wore a kind of velveteen kind of sport coat that you can see to finish my fancy, perhaps mystical look. But I also wanted to show this off, which is something I don't think I've done yet, which is a velvet
Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal, yeah. This was given to me, or left basically by my ex-roommate Jennifer, who has given me many cool things that I have in my house.
Cool.
And I just have it like kind of near my front door, and it's just
wait, don't you have another frame that you're looking to put something in? Why don't you put
it wouldn't, I don't know if this would fit this. Like, this has a frame, but it's just black velvet frame. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, that's really cool.
That is pretty neat.
That's really fun. I like that.
It's just like,
that's cool.
But yeah, no, it's, I don't know if I've mentioned on the show that I like cooking Indian food, but I do. No,
you've mentioned it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 8 times.
8 times. Okay, well, so for the 9th time, which I will mention again, I do, and I think I get a free Subway sandwich with this 9th mention. So, Joe, what do you got on the velvet?
Velvet
scale. Oh.
Oh, hello. How are you all doing?
Is that a Jamiroquai? Oh, I thought it was Jamiroquai. I got really excited. I'm still excited. But
you stop! Oh my god. This is just a nice. It's funny because Chris actually found a velvet painting of I didn't even think of it until you said velvet painting. I was like, yeah, why did I just was so fixated on clothing items. I was just like, okay, I know I have a velvet, and then I realized I have this hat. But I also have
all velvet hat though?
I guess. I mean, not on the underside, but
I mean the whole, not just the ribbon, but the whole actual body of the hat is velvet?
Yeah, the ribbon is not.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is
that's a very witchy hat. I want that.
Yeah, this is
cool.
good. I think I have to put this in my booth coming up because it's time for me to take out my winter hats as the grip of winter slowly goes away. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in. I'll put this in next week, just to have a nice little velvet. What do you say? What would you pay for a hat like this? $2, $5, $10?
I think at least $10. That's a nice hat.
I was gonna say 25.
I was gonna say 20.
All right, 20 it is.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's not like an easy thing to find.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think if you wore it around your booth and did the Jamiroquai dances, it might help sell it.
Yeah.
Chiba, Space Cowboy.
Yeah, that's...
Is this one of his dances?
But you were saying that you had another thing?
Oh no, I was gonna say that I forgot. I couldn't. It's too late to get it, but it was like the velvet painting you got me of a chimp playing cards, smoking a cigar. I just didn't like.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I have to unearth it again because it's like my office is impassable, as I've said several times.
Yeah.
That's
what offices are for. Just a space
just
to not
just
be able to go into.
yeah, exactly. That's what that's what dens and lounges are for. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what they're made for. So we've got one more segment, which is Joe.
Tales from the Flypt!
Tales from the Flypt. Tales from the Flypt.
And we're back with our special segment we call Tales from the Flypt, a segment in which we our three trash dragons, give you our special insight into one question every week. And the special question this week is, Chris?
I forgot.
Wow.
So the special question is, thanks, Joe. The special question is, do you take anything with you when you go thrifting? I could go first on this one. So I do have I bought like an 8-pack of gloves that are sort of got the grippy stuff on them. I bought it during COVID and I still bring them but I originally was just like, I'll bring because your hands get dirty if you look through books and CDs and stuff like that and DVDs, they're just dusty and dirty. And I was just like, it just slows everything down to do that. Because it's hard to, I usually check, even if I'm not interested in a book, there's some books that it's just like, well, this isn't worth on anything unless it's signed. And sometimes in LA it's signed because this is the autograph capital of the world. But I do keep it in case when I look through, if I happen to look through the bins of clothing.
Yeah.
And just because, as Katie has pointed out, it can be wet and mysterious in there. And the other thing I always bring is, I used to bring one of these teas always just to have something to drink. But lastly, I always have 2 big kind of plastic bags. I know they're sort of similar to the ones you get at IKEA, but they're not.
Oh, yes.
These are more rectangular. They're fold up, very easily to fold up. They're the Fresh Direct bags that you get in New York if you get it delivered. My ex will still send me, she collects them and she's like, I don't know what to do with them. I'm like, I'll use them or sell them because you can't sell them in bundles. I've used one for just years and it finally is giving out, but it does wear through eventually, but you can use it over time. And they're strong, good handles, and you can fit a lot of stuff in there. And I've never had one break on me. So that's what I bring with me. What are you? So Katie, why don't you go?
Oh, the same sort. I mean, I basically switch bags. So I switch purses. I have a close to my body sort of kit, and then it's got a what is that? There's something in my. Okay. Anyways, there's I have a measuring tape in it, and I have a little pair of scissors, and I just have some other weird stuff in this very close to my body bag. But then it's flush with me, and all it has in it is my wallet and my phone and all of that stuff. And also I am a little sensitive to bad radio stations. So I have gotten some little in your ear annoying, Wall Street thing that I can now, and that's now a staple. It didn't used to be, but now because if it's just bad, you know what I'm talking about. If it's just not your kind of music, it's you want to leave the store a little bit, and thrifting is long. So you gotta make it okay. Joe, what do you bring with you? Because I bet you bring way more intense stuff.
I mean, I guess I was I don't really bring anything, but then I was I don't bring gloves, but I do bring, I've learned, because a lot of my stuff is estate sales and clean outs and stuff like that more than thrifting. So for thrifting, I just go in and go in, grab my cart. Sometimes I'll bring pillowcases to fill with stuff because they're lightweight and durable. And it's just you don't have to, they're permanent.
Like a cat burglar?
Exactly. I was like, ha ha, you can't get any of my haul. Then I twirl my mustache because I am conflating multiple archetypes. The dastardly villain of the train robberies and
I do see you as a David Niven-esque character of the show.
Yes, that'd be great. That's great.
But I always have my multi-tool.
Yeah, I don't have one. I need one of those,
which is very good for like cutting stuff, unscrewing stuff, and so on. Which is come in handy if like you go to an estate sale and there's like a wall-mounted pencil sharpener. You're like, hey, you gonna sell this pencil sharpener? Because I would like to buy that. And they'll be like, yeah, $5. Like, great. There's also
I would just rip it off the wall. Like
you just bring the whole board with you. Like, how much?
It just has the entire bathroom attached to it. How much for the pencil sharpener?
And then what else? I have like for estate sales and cleanouts, I will bring a hat or a cap. Not because I'm ashamed of my baldness, but because as a bald gentleman, it is very easy to ding your head on low beams, and I've done that many times. And you just like it doesn't take much. I also have kind of thin skin, literally, also figuratively. I'm very sensitive. But so if I bang my head against a beam, it'll like a lot of times it'll bleed, not severely, but enough that I'll like touch it and I'll be like, oh God, and then I'll
that's not cool. Ow.
No, you don't like to have a bloody head as you're checking out, like as you're going.
No, you don't.
Just
no.
Blood drip on it.
Don't mind this. Don't mind. Yeah.
Sometimes my phone. I always bring my phone, but sometimes I'll use it to actually look up stuff. I don't.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like to do that because it's just like it. I like to. Sometimes I just like to take the gamble, and other times I just like to go by the vibes, and other times I'm just like, this is. For example, I guess I could have done this. When I was in Florida last week or a couple weeks ago, I went to an estate sale that had, or not an estate sale, a thrift store that had a ski jacket, and I'm like, oh, this ski jacket is great. Like this is like, I'll have to sit on it all season because it's spring is coming, but this is a no brainer. And I took it up like, oh, did you see the price tag? I'm like, no. And then she pulled out, I was like, it's $40. I was like, pass. But I could have lifted it up, but maybe sold it online. But I wasn't willing to spend $40 to like on a gamble, and I didn't want to like at the checkout be like, hold on just a second.
Yeah, that I don't. That's rough at the checkout. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm probably not going back to that thrift store again anyway. It's just like, it's okay, but it's like not, it's more like a retail. It's like for people who like to look for stuff for themselves more than people who like to flip things. So.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
It's called.
Do you wear like bodysuits, Katie, so you can try things on at the thrift store, or is that
I don't try on at any store.
Okay.
I am a gambler in that way. Where it's like, if it doesn't fit,
but you do see those people who do like you see the women who go shopping and they have.
I would not do that. I would not do that.
But I think we did it, guys. I think we did another 5-star 8+ episode, and I think we should all be proud of ourselves, especially Carl's Jr.
Carl's the third.
Okay.
Carl's Jr. is the restaurant. Carl's the third is the cat named after the restaurant.
Right, fair enough. I missed the joke entirely. I told the setup, not the joke.
That's okay.
Play that song everybody likes.
Thank you. Huh?
Play that song.
Say that song that we like.
Play a song, Kowalski.
Thank you for watching Show and Sell. If you remember to like, share, subscribe. But if you don't, everything is gonna be alright. And if you do, things are gonna be a little bit brighter for us. There's an algorithm controlling all of our lives. Thank you for watching Show and Sell. Remember, ring the bell. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
The cat and the raccoon. Good one.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.